And welcome. Today we're going to brainstorm some ideas for our next thriller film. So we're going to get straight onto it with some ideas. I'm thinking we're going to start off with the certificate of the film. Has anyone got an idea on what age we should aim it at? Yes, sir?
I feel like we should have the certificate as a 12A, so most people can see it. Well, pretty much anyone can co-see it, so we would be able to gross more money. I feel that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. So more. Because then more people can come and see it. What kind of age limit we're looking at? Target audience wise, I was thinking more between the ages of maybe a bit lower than, should we go 12 to 26 kind of age? Does anyone want to boost lower that? Anyone got any ideas on
12 to 30? No.
12 to 30? Okay, what about you at the back there, Cameron?
I say we raise it a little bit to say 14 or something like that.
14?
Yeah.
So 14.
Considering we're doing 12A.
Yeah, with 12
Should start with 12.
Well, okay, we'll say for 12, but it's going to be one of those films that if you want to bring your kids along, you can. So we're going to go for age 14. Target audience. That's going to be 30 approx. Right, so now we should get on to the best ideas. We'll start off with characters. Anyone got an idea for characters? Anyone want to start us off brainstorming some ideas for characters?
To keep it simple, we should just have one main hero male.
So this is the hero or the villain?
Even one, it could just be one main hero, male character or female.
I feel like we should just have one main protagonist and one main antagonist. Just keep it simple.
Right, so I was thinking for the villain character, we could have her as, say she can have schizophrenia, split personality. Like in Animals and Misery, we can have that. And psycho, because we can have two characters in one sort of, so if we put split. Because I feel like as then we can have it gain trust from the hero, so. And then turn in rage.
I feel like, sorry for me interrupting, we should stick to some of the conventions of thriller films, so have the main character, the protagonist, be some sort of police officer, detective, or someone who's trying to find something out, like solving a mystery.
So should we have this villain as a murderer to link in with that?
Yeah, that's a typical convention.
Yeah, so we can keep it simple but then expand on that. So we'll keep the hero for now. So anyone else want to get police, detective? Anyone else want to add to that?
Well, I think we should make the villain a bit, you wouldn't really know that they are a villain, so it's a bit...
That's where the split personality comes in. Because
like their job or role, so like a priest or something like that.
Okay, well I'm liking that actually.
So, a bit like a plot twist, trying to trick the audience, like they do in, say, Seven, Memento, those sort of films. Keeping the audience on the edge of their seat, keeping the suspense.
I like the audience thinking, yeah.
Yeah, an intensity. Okay, so we're going to go back to the hero now. So we got a policeman, any young, old, I think maybe young trainee.
Yeah, so say young, naive.
Then it could be a bit of an underdog, because everyone wants to say an underdog.
Yeah,
so put
and then
young trainee.
In contrast to that, I feel like the antagonist has got to be a bit older and wiser.
I'm kind of getting the sense of Silence of the Lambs, young trainee woman and then older criminal, so I'm liking where this is going.
Yeah.
So,
just thinking the conventions, it works, those films sell.
Intelligence.
Yeah,
intelligent.
high intelligence.
Like a criminal mastermind.
Mastermind. Right, we'll leave that for a minute, then we go on to location. Anyone ideas for location?
Well, because it's like a police officer, might as well go with an urban environment instead of rural. We could have a rural environment depending on whether the police officer, the hero, is investigating a crime scene or something in a rural environment.
So rural investigation.
Yeah.
Like a village or something like that. Something where it's a bit more isolated, creates a bit more suspense.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also like the fact of maybe the streets of New York or LA, because then you're going to get the gangs into it as well.
Yeah.
It gives more wide range for the villain, so let's put streets
It's sort of quite a typical convention. And again, like in 7, for example, the detectives are in the city, so it's quite a lot harder to find the antagonist they're looking for.
Hard to find film protagonist.
Should we have at some point in it some abandoned location, like an abandoned, broken down building? Because
Like a factory or something like that, a hospital, that usually found in like these urban areas.
yeah, like a closed down one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was kind of thinking, you get like a house or a factory in the middle of nowhere, the villain ends up taking the civilians or the hero there, the people, audience are going to know they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, again, creating...
Like the place the murderer commits their crimes, they was taken to this abandoned place and murders them.
Helplessness, I put loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
Lonely. Anyone? I was also thinking for the New York type thing. We want to have an intense CGI chase scene. We could have them in the skyscrapers. You know, we can throw in helicopters in there, jump from building to building. Make it. If we want to have a really intense segment, so we'll put skyscrapers.
All right.
And then chase. Question mark if we need to. Right, we're going to move on to music. Anyone want to throw any ideas about music in there? What we come thinking?
We should probably stick to the conventions again, like in Jaws or something. So not much non-diegetic music, but in bits when there's suspense, like
Build up,
Build up,
build
let the tension of the scene in a way.
Build up for intensity. Anything else with music? Do you want any music playing in the background? If we got like a death scene in there, if we're going to throw a death scene in there, we need like really sobby music. It's going to make the viewer feel really sad about the character we just lost. If we kill off like a main character, maybe the sidekick to the hero, put in that sad music, it's really going to make them feel it.
Very orchestral, like violins, basses, all that kind of thing, and like an orchestra to make it seem a bit more sad.
And then maybe we can have a bit more sort of electronic music for action scenes.
So we want like fast-paced music.
Yeah.
So I'll put fast-paced electronic.
Creates a contrast between
Contrast
the
between.
intensity of certain scenes and the sadness of others. So the audience will be able to recognise that.
And then we want like deep, heavy music for when we see the villain. And
Yeah.
it's like really uneasy sounds to listen to. It's going to make the audience despise the villain even more. So we'll put
Claws on the chalkboard sound.
exactly.
Uncomfortable sounds.
Uncomfortable.
Physically and mentally uncomfortable makes the audience feel.
Screaming.
Yeah, very high pitched sounds that make you feel very uncomfortable.
I mean,
Like psycho.
right, this is looking good. This is looking good. Right. What are we going to move on to now? Camera shots. If there's any camera shot that we really want to add in? Any ones that someone's been inspired by in the films they've been looking at?
I think from some of the research I've done, we need some bird eye views shots to make. So sort of when the villain has the upper hand because of his great intelligence, sort of needs to be looking down on our protagonist and making him feel small and weak.
I was going to put so we can observe the city that we're in. So observe
That's
the
an
city.
establishing shot,
Yeah.
which establishes where we are creating interest in the place.
Right, anything else for camera shots? I kind of saw that I like. Basically, this woman's running through the forest. She's not running away from anyone, she's just training. But there's a shot of her just looking at her legs, running really fast. And though she wasn't running away from anything, I felt if we have a chase scene in there, so the villain going after the civilian to murder them or whatever, we can have a tracking shot of her legs running through really fast. It's going to create intensity. So we'll put tracking legs running. Continue.
Yeah, I've got a good idea. From the film Memento, when it's like in the past, it goes black and white, like a noir film. I feel like when our villain sort of changes to their split personality, it should go like black, like change the colour contrast, like maybe black and white for one of their personalities, like their evil one. We'll keep it normal for their.
So I'll add this onto villain. So change colour when change personality.
Yeah. Then again, with that and the music, it just really adds as a suspense that you feel like something bad's going to happen when they change their personality.
I'm liking it, I'm liking it. Right, so we've got characters, location, music, camera shots. Well, let's go for the big one, let's go for storyline.
Oh,
Get the main areas covered. Anyone got any storylines I want to throw in there? We need to kind of hit on this now. Now we've got the basis of our locations. We need to really nail down on these storylines. Anyone want to start us off?
How about, I don't know, the detective has been assigned to, like, he's a new detective, just became a detective from a parole officer or something, and this is his first case.
So, we want first case for hero,
Yeah.
put the newbie.
Yeah.
How about at the murder scene, he meets the villain, but with the
Yeah, but we don't know that yet. We don't know that he's
just
the
the other
The
person.
villain could be another, like, another police officer, like his co-detective or something.
The senior officer in a way.
Yeah, that's where the split personality comes in.
Okay, the senior officer. I was kind of thinking that, much like Pulp Fiction, we have several storylines linking into one.
Yeah.
So we got this main plot of this guy's a newbie in the case, trying to solve. This guy turns split personality. That's going to be our main storyline. We can have some subplots. So we put over here. So anyone got like, I'm thinking of like a gang attack.
Mm-hmm.
So this gang can attack. So maybe we could have, as a subplot, the gang actually attacks them at the site, right at the beginning of the film, to have action straight off the bat. So actually sees the hero and the villain working side by side.
Yeah.
Maybe the villain with the split personality ends up running away from the fight.
Yeah, and then obviously that makes our protagonist think that the gang have done the murders.
Exactly. So he's going to frame gang. So for some of the film, the hero is actually going to be going after this gang, but not along, it's actually the villain that's done
We
it.
could make it seem like when the protagonist is finding out, uncovering the true murders and that, we could make it seem like the gang was actually hired by the villain to attack the site, to make it look more like their fault.
Hired by villain for cover up.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make it look like, so basically we've got the hero, he's just joined the force, a gang attacks him and his colleagues, including one of the villains, by this gang, but we actually find out that the villain hired them later on in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to, yeah, okay, so for half the film he's going to be chasing after them, he's going to find out from this guy that they were innocent,
Mm-hmm.
They were just paid to.
and the real threat is actually the villain, what's the villain planning, so
What's his motive?
Could just be psychopathic intentions.
Maybe. They always seem to have some form of motive though in these thriller films.
Yeah, I think he should be wanting to control the city, both the police and also the crime.
So he wants in charge.
Yeah, he wants to be in
So
charge.
what about, in charge, very generic.
What if he's causing these murders really elaborate so he can solve them to look really good?
So he's causing murders.
Gain fame.
Yeah, to gain fame. I like it.
That's our motive. But we won't find that out until
Later. Maybe the end.
when
Maybe
the
villain on
battle.
Yeah.
monologue.
While we're at the subject of the end, I take it we're going to have the hero versus villain. We
Yeah.
want them two.
Yeah.
No SWAT teams, no police, we just want them two. So if I put up here, ending.
I feel
Anyone
like
got ideas for the location of the music for this scene?
This music could build up during fight, so it starts off.
I like it.
Very simple.
While they're talking,
While
about
they're
it, while
talking,
he's finding out.
size each other up. Then when they get into the fight, builds in,
It builds.
culminates
I-
at the end.
I feel like a bit like The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Clint Eastwood film. There shouldn't really be a fight. It should be like the intense dialogue and build up, like you said, and then just maybe one swift shot from one of them or something.
just to end it so abruptly.
Abrupt ending, like not what the audience expects.
Well, we could do that. The problem is, I'm thinking with the target audience we've got, I'm thinking that the younger side, and because of what's happened throughout the film, they're going to expect a battle.
Like a
Unless
fist fight.
unless none of them dies, unless the villain actually escapes.
Maybe.
Yeah, that would be better killing that.
So, escape.
Leave it open to interpretation. That's it. Let the audience decide, did he die, did he not?
Did he get audience decide on liking it?
A bit like, obviously, a lot of Quentin Tarantino films or Scorsese, you know, Christopher Nolan films, all these sort of traditional thrillers, you're never quite sure what has happened. Like whether someone is good or bad, whether they died or not.
I'm liking it. I'm just going to have a look through my notes. We need to know, so target audience, it's there, we've got certificate of 12A.
Edited?
I was actually going to move on to running time.
Alright.
Has anyone got ideas? I did a bit of research, and for our target audience, we don't want to keep them for hours and hours. They're going to be in education or they're going to have work, so we don't want to have such a long film that they don't have time to watch it. So I'm thinking around 2 hours max.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours max is good.
minutes.
Good example. That's a
Anyone
good
want
running
to go
time.
less than that anymore?
No, that's
that
We're
would
going
be
to set up for a max 2 hours.
Yeah, because from my research, most thriller films are around 2 hours to 2.5 hours, from what I've looked at.
And while we're here, we'll quickly discuss editing. Anyone got any specific edits they want to have in the film, or is everyone just going to go for?
Just needs to be continuity, sharp cuts, you know. We don't want it to look like unrealistic. We want to keep the realism of the film to keep the audience engaged.
So realistic. Engaged. So also if we want to make it realistic, we've also got the abandoned house, which is going to make them. It's going to make it feel more realistic and have the audience just see it because they know it could happen to them. It could in real life in theory. So this thriller film can actually be horror sometimes.
Psychological thriller.
That's what we want.
Bit like Silence of the Lambs, The Shining,
So a bit shy.
Misery, these sort of films. They sort of,
Mess with your head.
yeah, makes you think.
Alright. Right, I think that's all we need to do today, lads. We are going to meet up here again on the date today is. We're going to be up here again on the 7th of November to finalise these ideas. But for now, good work, and I'll see you all later.
Alright then.